Do not grieve the set-apart spirit of Elohim, by whom you were sealed for the day of redemption. Okay, so this is a verse that messes a whole lot of people up. Do not grieve the set-apart spirit. It's not complicated. I don't know why everybody wants to complicate. Well, I'm afraid, what is it that grieves the spirit? I don't know. What grieves you? When people that you care about are doing things you know are hurting themselves, are disappointing you because they're heading down a path that you know will lead to some sort of harm. What grieves you when you tell somebody what they need to do and you know it's the right thing and they don't do it and it blows up in their face? What do you think is the same thing with the Spirit? The Spirit's trying to lead you in the right way. How do you grieve the Spirit? By doing it your way instead of the right way. It's not complicated. You know, you have a child, you tell the child that you want them to do a certain thing, and then they don't do it, and so what it does, it grieves you to see them doing what you know is only going to lead to a problem. And you look at them like, I told you. But you're not just giving them an I told you so, you're grieving, so to speak. Not like grieving, like crying and whatever, like you lost somebody, like someone passed away. But you're like, why won't you listen? I'm trying to save you all this trouble. So don't grieve the rock, because look at the context of all of it. The context is putting off the false, taking on the true, putting off the old man, not walking any longer in the futility of your mind as the Gentiles do. And so when you go back and do all of that stuff you're supposed to have put off, that grieves the Spirit. Is it not as simple as that? He just spent a whole chapter explaining this to you. When you do these things, that's great. Put off the old man, no longer walk. Guess what? If you don't do these things, it's going to grieve the Spirit. You don't find the fivefold and get in line, you're going to grieve the Spirit. It's not that complicated. And then it says, by whom you were sealed for the day of redemption. Now, sealed doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to end up in the kingdom and have eternal life and everything else. In other words, you were selected and you were as far as when we talk about we talk about called versus, how did I put it last time? Many are called and chosen. He's saying here, the sealed for the day of redemption, saying, look, you were chosen. Or sort of saying, you were called. But now what are you going to do to do it? Are you going to choose to go and continue to walk as the Gentiles do? Or are you going to walk in truth and put off the old man? He selected you knowing you could do this. What are you going to do? People want to read that verse, and I should really get into the Greek and maybe the underlying Hebrew to figure out where that word sealed gets, because that confuses people to the one saved, always saved, predestined. You were sealed, you're in, it's all over. Nothing to worry about here. No. That does not match anything else Paul just spent this whole chapter saying. If you're sealed the way Christians want to believe, then why did he bother with this whole speech he just gave? Because otherwise you're going to be grieving the Spirit.